Hi, this is Amy's Quick Guide, Choosing Oils for Health and Flavor. To begin my video, I'd like to review a couple things that we talked about in class. The first is talking about omega-3 and omega-6 sources of oil in our diets. Then the next is food sources of fat. So when we talk about omega fatty acids, we have omega-6 and omega-3. Omega-6 is present in abundance in our average American diets, but omega-3 is something we often try to supplement. Remember that omega-6 and omega-3 have to be balanced in order to achieve appropriate nutrient balance for these two oils. So if you have too much omega-6, you have to supplement with more omega-3. Now we'll talk about the food sources of fat. Monounsaturated fat are rich in antioxidants like vitamin D, and unlike any other fat, they can actually help to increase HDL levels, healthy cholesterol levels, and decrease LDL levels, our lousy cholesterol levels. Then we have polyunsaturated fats. These two can improve your HDL to LDL ratio, but they're high in omega-6s, which need to be balanced with omega-3s. So they're not typically recommended as amply as monounsaturated fats are. Next we have saturated fats. Saturated fats include things like butter and lard, and while they taste good and they work well for cooking, they're known to clog your arteries and boosting your risk of heart disease and stroke. Finally, we have trans fatty acids. Trans fats are created when you force a hydrogen into vegetable oil and you change it from a liquid into a solid form. So an example of this would be in margarine. Trans fats lower your HDL levels and raise your LDL levels. They're the worst oil for you out of all of these. So on to 4 resources that I really like. The first being the Healthy Oil Cooking Guide, the second, Real Food Digest Guide to Fats and Oils, then the Cleveland Clinic, Top Heart Healthy Oils and How to Use Them, and finally a text guide at the end. The first guide that I'm looking at here is a Healthy Oil Cooking Guide. So this goes over basic smoke point factors of each oil. A smoke point is the temperature at which an oil begins to deteriorate and smoke. So in order to cook at high temperatures, you would need a higher smoke point. This particular guide goes from low smoke point to high smoke point at the bottom. Next we have the Real Food Digest Guide to Fats and Oils. This breaks into 3 categories. The first being the best for cooking, oils which tolerate heat levels. Next is best for dressings and drizzling on top of food where you wouldn't use heat. You wouldn't apply heat to the oil. And finally, oils to avoid. So at a glance, this is we can see that the things that they want you to avoid are things that contain hydrogenated oils, trans fats, anything high in omega-6s, highly refined or processed oils, oils that have GMOs in them. Next we have the Cleveland Clinic's Top Heart Healthy Oils and How to Use Them. This is an easy guide to look at for all of the top most needed things about oil. So we have a breakdown for what is best for your heart on the left, what's worst for your heart on the right, and in the center, the best in show for each particular type of use of each type of oil. So we see at the bottom the most useful oil, the ubiquitous best oil is to go for extra virgin olive oil. I would recommend looking at this site and reading the different facts that they provide here because it's pretty informative and I find them to be correct. So the next website I'd like to share with you is a Martha Stewart website, in fact. It is part of Whole Living, and She goes through all the different parts of oils that we would want to know. So first of all, she talks about what bad oils are. So she says blended oils, you want to avoid those. She says old oils, things go rancid. She talks about vegetable shortenings. These are the trans fats. Chemically extracted oils, she says to avoid, and oils that are high in polyunsaturates. Finally, she talks about what are good oils. She says for drizzling, she agrees, extra virgin olive oil. Sautéing, she says virgin olive oil or safflower oil. Finally, when we get into the high heat cooking section, she talks about light olive oil. Of course, light olive oil does not refer to the caloric content, but actually to the color and the filtration. She talks about several different oils and gives many facts on what different oils can give to you. An interesting fact about peanut oil is that it will not go rancid as fast as other oils. I would recommend looking at this website because it's very comprehensive and talks about many different facts in oils and fats that are interesting. She even gives definitions at the bottom for different things that we read on the outside of packages for different oils. So finally, some of the takeaways that I want to share with you on my final slide here. First of all, extra virgin olive oil is our best, most healthy choice for either unheated or very low heat. Then we have a high tolerant heat oil, canola. This is very high heat tolerant and it's non-saturated, but it's very refined, so some people would recommend not to eat this. Virgin olive oil or light olive oil has a higher smoke point than extra virgin olive oil and still the same great health benefits. Coconut oil tolerates high heat and is quite delicious, and you can use it for baking as a substitute for butter, but you should use it in moderation because it is a saturated fat. This is a coconut oil. I believe this is a sesame oil, an olive oil, and this is probably a light olive oil and a canola olive oil. My parting wish to you is to look into food ideas and food facts that you have questions about. Try to find sources that have medical background or seem to have qualified resources for what they're talking about. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed my video.